Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woodland mittens. Do 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 da tied up with. Huh? What do you mean it ain't that kind of party? None of this? Oh, wow. Return to form. Shalom lechem, anashim tovim, uvruchim habaim la'arutz hakatan sheli. Welcome back. And today, I want to talk to you about my favorite things. Literally, no black geese or ducks with the moon on their wings or something like that. Nothing like that. No canes, no holly jolly. But I want to talk to you about my favorite things with respect to getting into the Word of the Most High, studying to show myself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed, studying, digesting the Word, and then most importantly, applying it to life, right? Applying it to life. All right. So this isn't going to be very long. A little silly to start, I know, but what's life without being a little silly? Everybody, in my opinion, needs a good um, Hebrew Bible, a Tanakh, a Tanakh. And as you can see here, it is Torah, Nevi'im, Vekatvim, Vehabrita Hadasha. So it is the Tanakh plus the Brita Hadashah, the New Testament. Okay, they're great to have, especially when it comes to scripture that you are familiar with. Okay, when it comes to scripture that you are familiar with, you can follow the narrative of the story, and you can even sharpen up your Hebrew because you know what's coming, right? So you have an excerpt there from the book of Judges, Shoftim, and then when you turn further toward the end, you have the section with the Brita Hadashah, with the synoptic gospels, and on and on and on. You get the picture. So everyone needs, in my humble opinion, a good Tanakh and Brita Hadashah. Next is a Chumash. A Chumash, okay? And the Chumash basically are the 5 books of the Torah, right? And it's interlinear. It's interlinear, okay, with cantillation, right? Interlinear with cantillation, and the English translation runs underneath it in the same direction from right to left as Hebrew does. Okay, it's also has a commentary at the bottom. Okay, and little portions of the targums, like ankoles at the top here in Aramaic. Okay, these are great to have. Again, the Hebrew, of course, runs right to left, but then also the English translation underneath it runs right to left with commentary as well. These are awesome to have. Now, featured in my new segment known as Uncut Torah, you will see this beauty, all right, with the beautiful writing on the front. Ki mitzion tetze Torah udavar Adonai Yerushalayim. For out from Zion will go forth the Torah and the word of Adonai from Jerusalem. This is a Tanakh only, okay, and it has nobody's English. It has nobody's English in it, okay? It's great. Again, the diacritical marks are there for pronunciation and to place the stresses in the proper place. But this copy in particular is actually my good friend and neighbor and sister, Jeanette. Shout out to Jeanette, because mine is in storage. But it is the Koren Yerushalayim, and it is the Torah, Nevi'im, Chatvim. It's the Tanakh. It's great to have, you guys. Great to have. Next up, novelty, kind of novelty, sure, but it is a miniature Torah that I bought while I was in Jerusalem on my latest trip. And as you can see, it has the covering over it with the word Keter Torah. All right, a Keter is a crown, okay, and it's just a nice decorative cover. It's a super miniature version of a full-size Torah. I mean, you can tell. Look at my hand next to this thing. It's a truly miniature version, and it's pretty convincing because it's the actual Torah. Now, look, I'll admit the manufacturers of these products probably see me as the least likely favorite to represent their products. But hey, if it gets them a few sales, whatever. By the way, the word of the Most High is not for sale, so that's what you get for, mass producing the word and charging for it. So you might not get your favorite person to represent. But to give you an idea and show you that, in fact, it is truly the word of the Most High from Bereshit Ad Devarim, from Genesis all the way to Deuteronomy. There are no vowels on this, as you can see again, no vowels, no vowels. Okay, so you have to be pretty well versed in the actual Hebrew. And this is at Genesis 18, verse 1. וירא אליו אדוני באלוני ממרא והוא יושב פתח האוהל כחום היום ויישא עיניו וירא והנה שלושה אנשים ניצבים עליו, and behold, 3 men are walking in his direction and standing resolutely over him. That is the miniature Torah, another one of my favorite things. Okay, also in the same line with the Chumash, because I think it's probably the same people anyway that produces this. This is a copy of Tehillim, the book of Psalms, Tehillim, and it's also interlinear as well. It's interlinear as well. Let's turn to one that you know, so we can have a little sample. And here is the 23rd Psalm. The 23rd Psalm, and as you can see, the Hebrew normally, right, runs from right to left, and the English translation underneath it in the interlinear section runs in the same direction as well. Beloved, the 23rd Psalm. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רועי, לא אחסר בינות דשא ירביצני, על מי מנוחות ינחילני, נפשי ישובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. You lead me in the cycles of righteousness for the sake of your name. 2 more products and we're done. So one of my favorites is the Midrash Rabbah. Midrash Rabbah, okay, which are the commentaries. The first here has Bereshit and Shmot, Genesis and Exodus. And the next one has Vayikra, Bamidbar, and Varim, okay, which is Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. These are really, really nice volumes. Only problem that I have with them, Midrash Rabbah, and it says Im Kol HaMifrashim, with the translations or with the things that they expound upon. My only problem with these is that the writing is teeny, teeny, tiny, and I'm no spring chicken. So it's really hard to see, like you look in the initial page here. This one isn't so bad compared to some of the pages that are you're going to see here in a second. They aren't so bad. That first page. So, like, for example, let's see. Yeah, take a look at this. Look at that writing, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that writing. It's teeny, teeny, tiny. So I actually have one of those overlay pages that's a big, like, magnifier. It's floppy, right? Like a thick sheet of bond paper, but you lay it over it and it'll blow the things up. But the Midrash Rabbah primarily is in Aramaic, so you might not want to get it if you're not quite proficient, or buy the volumes to have them, right? And then just get yourself a what's his name? Van Pelt has a basics on. Oh, there it is up on my shelf. Van Pelt's Basics of Biblical Aramaic is right up there on my shelf, but I'm not going to get up there and grab it. Okay, something old, something new, right? Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blah blah blah. Something old. A treasured part of my collection is Tanakh Bitmunot. Tanakh, that's the Torah, Nevi'im, Vechotvim, Bitmunot, the Torah in pictures, or the Tanakh in pictures. This is a very, very old book, you guys, very old book. And it has pictures that would ruffle some of you guys' feather, because, it's got, white angels and whatnot. Relax. Relax. It's all good. But it's a very old page, very old book with these really, really cool illustrations. Let me share a couple of them with you. The pages are starting to yellow and tear. But as you can see, there is the Teva, the Ark of Noah, okay, sitting up there, and it's got the biblical passage underneath. Then there's the other side here. I didn't read the caption, so I don't know exactly what's going on there. But underneath the Noah caption, it says, Vayishalach et hayonah meito, and he sent out the dove from him, lirot hakalu amayim, to see if the water had been abated or had come back from off. There you see in this illustration, for example, Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Babel, Migdal Bavel, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it's a really nice book, really, really old book. I baby it because the pages are yellow and they're starting to come apart. Finally, last but not least, is a shofar that I bought on my last trip to Jerusalem. And you can see the fancy covering or bag that it comes in, yeah. And it has a lot of scripture on it. It says, Shalom Shalom Yerushalayim. It says, pray for the peace, or entreat the Most High for the peace of Jerusalem. But inside is the treasure. Look at that shofar, kids. Look at that shofar made from a ram's horn. It's antelope horn. Okay, it's really, really nice. Handcrafted. Okay, it's awesome. And others who I let see it tried to blow it, so I'm not going to put my lips on this, and I don't want you to have to sit and wait for me to wipe it off. Yeah, let's not get the heebie-jeebies. So, at any rate, where'd that come from? That looked a little holiday-ish. At any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed this edition of my favorite things, none holly jolly. And I hope that you would invest in some of these products in order to strengthen your dive into the word so that you can be salt and you can be light. Okay? Happy Hanukkah coming up real soon, and you guys take care. See you next time.